Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Brittany, and I'm an outreach specialist for the Omaha area, but I also happen to have a lot of experience with the Volunteer Toolkit. So that is what I'm going to be talking to you about today. We're just going to do a run through of everything in the Volunteer Toolkit. And if you're brand new and you don't know what I'm talking about, the Volunteer Toolkit, we also call it the VTK. It's Girl Scouts digital planning tool for co-leaders. You can use it on your smartphone, tablet, laptop, and it's just got everything that you need in one place to plan your year and more. So without further ado, let me go ahead and share my screen with you so we can walk through this together. All right, so we're gonna start here on the home page. If you've not been in it before, you're gonna go to our girlscoutsnebraska.org and go to your MyGS. It's gonna bring you up these three options. The GS Learn, where you can do your training, member profile, where you can renew your membership, and then the Volunteer Toolkit here. Now, all of these have the same login information. So if you haven't been in the VTK, you can use, I'm already logged in, but you can use the same login information that you use to get into your member profile. If you're not sure, you can do forgot password or reach out to member support and they can get that figured out for you. So the first thing, once you get in here, it's gonna automatically bring you to this Explore tab, but you're gonna wanna make sure if you are a leader that has multiple troops, make sure you're going up to this little gray box here and selecting the troop that you wanna work on. Let's go ahead and just start with the My Troop tab. This is gonna have all of the registered members of your troop listed here. In this test troop, I don't have any girls, but if I did, they would be listed here. It would have the girl name, their parent or guardian, and all of their contact information. If you have someone in your troop who is not listed on this tab, that means that for some reason they haven't been registered with the council under your troop. So it could be, they just haven't gotten registered yet, or it's in process. Maybe they've got financial aid that's pending, something like that. So if you are worried and you don't see someone, you can always reach out to member support just to figure out why they're not showing up. In this tab, you can email someone individually by clicking on the Mail tab by their name, or you can go up to the top here and send an email to all of your contacts in your troop. This page also has a download and a print button, and these are going to be on pretty much every page that you go to in the VTK. You can download or print. But that is your My Troop tab. Let's go over to the Explore. And again, this Explore tab is where it's going to take you when you first log in. You're not going to be able to view any of these tabs until you have selected a year plan. You can do a build your own where it's straight from scratch and you just add meeting by meeting. Or the more popular option here is to view the pre-selected tracks that the VTK has set up. So you can click on here and it'll show you year plans that are already set up by the VTK. Now, once you click on one of these year plans, you can always add or subtract from this. This is just giving you a starting point for your year. Now, my troop is set up as a multi-level, so this is only going to give me journey options that will work for all of the levels of my troop. If you are only a one-level troop, say you're just a brownie troop, then you're going to actually have more options because it's going to give you badge options as well. but I am just going to, you can preview all of the year plans to see what it's about broken down. I'm going to go ahead and select one. Once it's been selected, it'll take you automatically to your year plan. The first thing that you're going to want to do on your year plan is to set up dates. So you can do that by selecting your Manage Calendar button, and then just click the start date and how often you want to have your meetings and the time. This is going to automatically take out any major holidays. So if your meeting happens to land on that holiday, it'll just skip that meeting. You can also fill in from here your location for your meetings. We don't have any activities set up, so that is not helpful for now. But once you get that information entered, just make sure that you do select the update calendar. Now, this pop-up box is always going to pop up. You're just going to want to press OK. And it's just telling you that your troop year ends on June 30th. So that is something that I do want to point out to you guys. The VTK year is a little bit different than our typical Girl Scout year. The VTK switches over to the next year in July. And that's just so that troop leaders can get in and start planning your next year before, September, before it starts. So that means right now, if you log in, you're not going to be able to plan for next year. You're going to want to wait until July and then do your planning. And you will need to, in July, be renewed because the VTK will be on the 2020 to 2021 year. So your membership is also going to have to be on the 2020 to 2021 year as well, which works out perfectly because that means that you can early bird and you can get your early bird incentive and then also be able to access the VTK to start your planning. But for now, we're just going to say okay. And then there you go. So it's went ahead and added the dates to all of these. Now these orange bars that are going across your screen, that's something that the council has added to your year plan. Just important dates and reminders that we think might be helpful for you when you're planning. So let's go ahead, and we have an add badge or journey option on here. Now, again, my troop is set up as a multi-level troop. So one of the big questions that we get asked is, I have brownies and juniors in my troop. How do I add badges that correlate to each other to the VTK? And it's super simple. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Let's say we want to do an outdoor art badge. You can also use these filters and filter down if you're not sure which badge you want to add. But if you know the name, go ahead and view the list, and it's going to give you every option that it's got for this. So I'm going to search through and find the one that I'm looking for. It lists them out by level. So here we are. Brownie, outdoor art creator. I'm going to select that. But while I'm on here, I'm going to go ahead and search down to the junior and add the junior one as well. Here we are, juniors, outdoor art. Select and add to year plan. Here we go. So now you're going to be able to see, it's going to add these to the bottom of your year plan here. Now, if you don't want to do that at the end, if you want to do that in the middle, that's no big deal. You can actually just take and drag on these little dots, drag it up, go down here, and drag up this next one, put it right next to them. So that's how you will add badges. If you're wanting to combine these meetings and do them all in one meeting, you can just, oh, where's my, so there we go. So these two we want to combine. We don't want to do brownies in one meeting and juniors in another meeting. We want to do them at the same time. So we're going to click here, see more calendar options. You're going to go to what badge you want to combine and press the calendar, combine meetings, and then search for the meetings that you're wanting to combine. You can combine as many as you want, but we're just doing these two. Scroll down, continue. Now this sometimes trips people up because it won't let you save. And that's because it needs you to select which date you want these combined meetings to go on. It looks like it's already filled out, but you do have to click on it. And then you can press save. There we go, so scroll down. And there it is. So these will continue to have two separate boxes. And that's just because they are two separate badges. So it's going to give you the information on both badges, but it has the same date here on the side. All right. So now let's go over and add an activity. Say you're taking your troop out for a trip to the zoo. So you can just put in your custom activity, zoo, street, and then select the day that you want this to happen and the time. All right, so now you can see that this has been added. Activities are going to be in blue, and then earned, badges, and journeys are all going to be in green. And that's just so that it's easy for you to keep track of. All right, and now the other thing that you can do, which is really cool with this add activity button, is you can add council programs straight from here. So go to council activities. Now if you, everything that is online for you to register for, you can search for straight from the VTK. So if you know the name of the council program you want to attend, you can do that here. If you're not sure, say, I don't know where I want to go or when, but I do know that I have brownies and juniors and we want to go to a camp. So you can just filter that down and it's going to give you all of the options that we have available for what you've put in there. So say we want to go to the Saddle Day Camp here. You can select activity and register for event straight from the VTK. So that's going to open a new page where the registration takes place. So you can log in and register your troop right here. So that's super, it's definitely streamlined that process and made it a little bit easier. But once you're done with that, you can go back and it will have already automatically added to your year plan. So that's super helpful. The next thing on here is the past years tab. Like I said, the VTK does switch over at the end of June. So in July, you're not going to be able to see what you put in for the previous year. But don't freak out. You do need to look something up. just press that past years button. And then you can toggle between all of the years that you've had this troop. And then you can go back to current year when you are done. All right, and then again, this has a print and a download button. What I will also say is that your parents can go on, they have a VTK login. They can't access and search for meeting plans or anything like that that you can do, but they can view the year plan once you set it up. And that's just so, I mean, that's helpful because they can see all of this. Now your parents have access to your year, your plans, so that they can plan in advance, and it promotes, you know, parents' involvement. So that is the year plan tab. Let's move on to the meeting plan. And this meeting plan, it's got everything that you're gonna need to know. The meeting plan overview is here, and that's just gonna give you, like it says, an overview of what you'll be doing for that meeting. I'm sure it'll pop up any minute now. But it's gonna give you just a walkthrough of that meeting. It's gonna give you talking points, how long it takes to plan, how long it takes to do the activities, all that good stuff. Let's see, the computer is getting tired. Oh. All right, let me go back in. This is a good time to say, see, now it took me to my first page because I'm in the wrong troop. So all I do is go back down here, go to the troop that I was working on. And there is my year plan that we just put in there. This is also a good time to mention, I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, our VTK, and really our website in general, but especially the volunteer toolkit, you're going to want to make sure that you're using Google Chrome when you are doing this, because it just works better. Sometimes if you're using Internet Explorer or some other browser, it just does weird things. Sometimes whole tabs are missing, a whole bunch of information is just gone. So if that does happen to you, just make sure that you're using Chrome as your browser. All right, back to meeting notes. Not to break, sit in. So that's your activity overview. The activity plan is going to list out, let's see if it'll work. Oh, there it goes. So this is specifically more in depth into the activities that go with this batch. Again, talking points, materials, all that good stuff. And you can print and download if you're going somewhere without internet. And then it breaks it down even more to a materials list. So if you're going shopping and you just want to know what you need, there it is. It's also good to point out that the VTK, this meeting plan, is set up so that as a leader, if you don't want to have to do a lot of research, a lot of planning, you can go in and you can follow this meeting plan to a T and not have to worry about it. Once you've done it, your girls have earned that badge. But that being said, you have full, like you can customize it to as much as you want. Say the activity plan that it has, you're just really not feeling, you don't think your girls will like it that much. If you've got a better idea, please go for it. You are not stuck to exactly what this says. All right, so the manage communications section. This is where you can send meeting reminder emails, and this will go straight to all of your parents and caregivers as long as this button is checked. It's just got the date, location, and the topic of the meeting. Now, in that year plan tab, when we went to manage calendars, there was a tab to put in your location. If I would have done that, that would have automatically filled in here. So that all you would have to do is go down and send this to all of your parents. You can add things if you want, include form links, you know, anything. So that just makes it easier to streamline, like, hey, everyone, just remember that we have this meeting coming up. And it's less work for you to just be able to press one button and send it to everybody. The next thing is recording the attendance and achievements. Now, I don't have any girls in this test troop, but if I did, their names would all be showing right here, and then next to their names would be a check mark box. And you just check next to each girl who attended, and that way you just know who was there and who earned that badge. And you can save that. Another thing to note with this specifically, the attendance and achievements button, when the year rolls over in July, this will not save. When we went and looked at that past years, you will be able to see the year meeting plans, but you won't be able to access this. So just make sure that if you need it after June, that you just, you know, download or print that out before the year switches over. All right, so moving on, meeting aids, I'll let you, once you get into the VTK, look through those. It's just something that the system has brought up to say, hey, this might help you with this meeting. So you can look at that as you wish. The next thing here is it actually breaks down your agenda with the times limits on everything that you have. And then there's meeting notes. Now, this is good for what I was saying earlier about customizing your meeting as you want it to be. So, you know, if you think this is going to take longer, just add that on there and it'll add your bottom time here too. Say, oh, well, we do snacks here. No problem. Add agenda item. Next, add how much time you want for that. And save. And it has been added. Here we go. It did add to the bottom. Everything automatically adds to the bottom, but just like your year plan, if you want to move it, just press over these dots and move it to where you want. So completely customizable, and then you can also add notes down here. So if you do end up changing an activity or something like that, feel free to add it here to the bottom and have it all in one place. So that is the meeting tab. Hope you're all staying with me. I know it's a lot of information, but it's also super helpful once you're aware of everything that this can do to help you out. So moving on to our resources tab. This is just where a lot of our forms and information is going to be here. It's automatically going to be set up to the troop level that you have. You can toggle between, but it's automatically going to be customized to what you may be needing. And then it's got all of these different subdivisions here as to what kind of items are on each list. So it's just easy. I would definitely recommend going in and just kind of searching around here just to see what's going on. You've got your safety activity checkpoints. You'll have intent forms will be listed on here and things like that. One thing I will point out though is the badge and award chart. I'm going to go ahead and open that up because I think it's a really good tool, especially if you do have a multi-level troop. The VTK, when you're searching for badges, it does have a search option, so you can see all of the options for each level. But for some people, it's just easier to see it all laid out on a pretty chart like this. So that can just be helpful when you're planning. Like we did the art in the outdoors on this year plan. So you're able to see, I want to do outdoors. Here are all the correlating badges between the levels. And then you can search for those specific badges back on the VTK. So that is just a good resource to have. All right, so the milestone and reports tab, you will not have that on your VTK. So don't freak out when it's not there. It's just something for the council. So, but what you will have is the finance tab. And this is where you will do your finance report at the end of the year. You'll be able to download your statement. And then it's really easy. It walks you through, it's a pretty simple walkthrough. So you'll be able to do that. And then down at the bottom, you will be able to submit this as well. All right, so that concludes our VTK. I hope this cleared some things up. I know it was a lot of information being thrown at you at once, but please feel free to reach out to your VTK for your troop support specialist or the member support team as well. We'd love to help you out. This is just we want to make sure that your planning is as simple as it can be, and this is a really great resource. So we would love to help you if you have any questions. One more thing before I officially let you go. Let's see, let's go to, I know you won't be able to plan your year until July after you've been early bird registered. So if you need a quick refresher course come July, feel free to go to this volunteer resources page. And if you go to our homepage, it's still going to be right here at the top. And then click volunteer toolkit. Scroll down here. The volunteer toolkit guide is going to be right here. And it's updated, and it's much easier to follow along than, in my opinion, than our other ones. So please feel free to print or just take a look at that if you need to. All right. Well, thank you all for joining me, and I hope this was helpful. Let me figure out how to stop this. There we go. All right. Well, have a great day. Stay safe out there, and we will talk to you soon.